Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. InsyaAllah today we will present to you about our topic, which is network security. We choose phishing attack as the type of network security. And before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce my group members. First, Wan Zulaika binti Wan Zul Amran, matric number 1181689. Second, Badratul Munirah binti Mat Tirmizi 1181695, and I, Fitri Nabiah binti Mat Khodori 1181688. Alright, before we start our presentation deeply, I would like to give the introduction about our title, which is network security. Over the last decade, the world has become more interconnected with the advancement of new networking technologies. Likewise, our reliance on the internet has reached an unprecedented level. An immense amount of personal, commercial and sensitive data is stored on either private or public accessible networks. The value of this intellectual data represents the importance of network security in our lives. The potential threats to this data are often not easy to find or avoid. As we are already in the 21st century, our culture relies heavily on the internet in a variety of fields such as finance, politics and the military. With the growing effect of the internet on our everyday life, numerous security threats emerge from device malfunction, hackers and so on, which pose a serious threat to the stability of the network, incur substantial financial losses economically, and to the more severe degree may even pose a threat to national security. Network security has now become an important topic of critical importance in the field of economic, politics, military and human life. Alright, before we go to the next subtopic, I would like to introduce and give the definition about the network security. What is network security? Network security is a technique for a protective approach to protect the data and the resources over the computer network infrastructure against any possible threats or unauthorized access. It uses both software and hardware technology to achieve the optimum solution for the network security. So we go to the three main areas of security, which is one is confidentiality, second integrity, and the last one is availability. Alright, next we go to the types of network security. Network security generally consists of three separated control, which is one is physical, second technological, and the last is managerial. Here's a short overview of the various form of network protection and how each control operates. First, physical network security, which is protocol are designed to avoid physical access to network devices such as routers, cabling, cables, and others by unauthorized staff. The second is technical network security, is data maintained on the network or in transit through into or out of the network is covered by technical security measure. And the last one is administrative network security, which is security protocols and procedures that regulate users' activity, consists of administrative security measure, including how users are authenticated, their access level, and even how IT staff members make improvement to their infrastructure.
Okay, so what's the importance of network security? So nowadays, with growing dependency on technology, it has become increasingly important to safeguard every aspect of online information and data. As the internet expands and the computer network expand, data privacy has become one of the most important, one of the most critical thing for organization to consider. Okay, so let us look why network security is so critical in today's digital age. So network security is one of the most important thing to consider when operating on the internet, local area network, or any other tools, no matter how small or large your company is. Although there is no network that is resistant to attack, and a reliable and effective network security framework is very important for the safety of client data. So A strong network protection framework helps companies reduce the risk of falling victim to the thief and sabotage. Network protection helps to protect the workstation from malicious spyware. It also ensures that the data the data that have been shared are kept safe. Network security infrastructure offer a range of layers of protection to deter man-in-the-middle attack by breaking down information into several sections, encrypting and transmitting it through spread pathway, thereby avoiding cases such as eavesdropping. So, before that, I mentioned man-in-the-middle attack. So, what is the man-in-the-middle attack? A man-in-the-middle attack is when an intruder intercepts communication between the two parties, either to secretly eavesdrop or to change traffic between the two parties. An attacker can use man-in-the-middle attack to steal login or personal information, spy on the victim, or to sabotage communication or corrupt data.
I will continue on objective of our research. The goal of our research is to study and examine various security issues in phishing attacks on the internet, with a view to proposing a security implementation model that will cover the drawbacks of the available mechanism used to resolve security issues in internet computing, and it would be able to provide a more secure future for the implementation of protection on the internet. Our research will aim to investigate the security concern of phishing attacks in network security. Second, the goal of this study is to ensure the importance of network security for users of internet networking as well as for cyber laws, so that a structured and more efficient approach can be used to resolve threats in phishing attacks on the network. Moreover, the key objective of this research are to define and aggregate security issues associated with network security, and of course to establish a framework for evaluating and categorizing these flaws. Research insights will form a set of recommendations for the design of less fragile network security in the form of a formal risk assessment process.
Okay, so the fact about the issue. On June 2011, the Citibank's website suffered a hacker attack that resulted in the death of 200,000 users. And according to the report, much of the casualties were from Northern America, and the hacker stole credit cards and personal information such as username, account, and home address and email address, and so on. So a hacker has unlawfully intruded Citibank's computer system and has been browsing, and they copied about 200,000 personal data from users. Also on 20 September, the Japanese military production company Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, with U-boat factories, missile production, and nuclear power plant component, were under attack by the hacker, which could lead to information disclosure. And this is the first time Japanese national defense industry was the target of the hacker. And during the analysis of the contaminated server and machine, it's emerged that a long period has passed before the attack was detected. So, the observation about the issue. According to the problem, okay, we can infer that the hacker's target victim is also the organization such as banks in developed countries to get into their system, even if it is on heightened security. So the Malaysian Community and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) in Malaysia said that in Malaysia, most phishing attacks targeting internet banking users are identified, and their trick is to extract financial detail from the victim. How? Okay, the hacker illegally intruded the computer of the bank, browsed and copied nearly 200,000 user personal data. They must be urged the user to the website that looked like a real internet banking site to allow phishing criminal to access your personal information, but it is the fake. It's not the real website. Okay, this is achieved by submitting an impersonated email with a secret connection coming from their bank. So when click lead them to fraudulent site, so hence no matter how high the level security developed, the hacker will make consumer their victim if they are careless. No matter how the developed country, the bank or the company industry also will be the target of the attack, hacker attack. So that's why the network security is important to us.
Next is we will share some suggestions on how to secure and avoid ourselves from a phishing attack. On the basis of these problems, hackers have used personal data to launch this form of attack, but with the broad usage of social media networks and smartphones with internet access, the types of attacks are accelerating. As a result, overconfident users who do not have a sufficient antivirus security may be targeted in attacks aimed at stealing personal data, which is why phishing attacks attract people who offer a great work or a simple way to get money. But don't worry, because there are several ways to protect our network from a phishing attack. First, we need to verify the security of the site. It's reasonable to be a little suspicious of providing confidential financial information online. However, as long as you are on a safe website, you are not expected to run into any problem. Before submitting any details, make sure that the site URL starts with HTTPS and that there is a close block icon near the address bar. Plus, inspect for the security certificate of the web as well. Never install apps from questionable emails or websites. Even search engine can display such links that may lead users to a phishing website brings the items. If the user make transaction on this website, the data of the credit card can be obtained by cyber criminals. Secondly, stay up to date with your software and operating system. Phishing and other data thieves are often the target of Windows OS products, so make sure you are protected and up to date. For those who still running stuff older than Windows 10 particularly. The third is high quality firewalls act as buffers between you, your computer and outside intruders. You should use two different kinds, which is a desktop firewall and a network firewall. The first option is a type of software and the second option is a type of hardware. When used together, they drastically reduce the odds of hackers and phishers infiltrating your computer or your network. Fourth is pop-up windows frequently disguised as authorized components of a website. So please be wary of pop-ups. So for the conclusion, we can conclude that phishing is a type of online identity fraud aimed at stealing users' personal details such as passwords for online banking and credit card information. But as threats develop and become more difficult to discern, it is becoming an ever-growing threat to users. It is increasingly hard to apprehend the perpetrators who carry out these assaults. We have proposed a three-pronged strategy in order to overcome these hurdles. Using a filtration system such as high-quality firewalls tends to minimize the amount of phishing emails hitting the customer, eliminating the likelihood of phishing. The user interface model provides users with alerts when the site they are accessing is not trustworthy, while protecting against the risk that they have been guided to a phishing site by a persuasive email. Finally, by involving users with valuable instructional guidance not to quickly spread personal data across the network, the user themselves may continue to practice phishing security solutions, while attackers continue to upgrade phishing techniques, and it is becoming a more difficult to challenge to deter and detect phishing. It will be possible to remain up to date with the protection of the application and operating system to help keep phishing under control. Hence, it is a must for every user to learn and practice about network security to enhance the security of their personal data from being a target.